Greetings everyone, again it's Luandile here, the leader and the instructor of Manikwe School. Today we're gonna be doing exercise 4.24. As you guys can see, this is it right here. So what we are required to do is to write a program that prompts the user to enter 3 cities and displays them in ascending order. So here's a sample run. Okay, so we have Chicago as our first city, Los Angeles as our second city, and Atlanta as our third city. So the 3 cities in alphabetical order are Atlanta, Chicago, Los Angeles. Okay. So let's get back to our IDE. So what I already done is to simply create a scanner and my 3 variables for holding the 3 cities. So right here I've initialized my variables by simply prompting the user. So let's get to the core of the problem. So the very first thing I want to do is to simply do a little bit of validation. So I'll simply go if a city is empty or second city dot length equal to 0, which is the same as saying second city is empty or third city is empty. If first city is empty or second city is empty or third city is empty, what do we do in that case? We simply go system.print we now have an error. All 3 cities must have names. Okay, done. What we'll then do though is to exit our program. We'll put a 0 as our status. Okay, suppose that didn't get executed. So what we'll simply do, we're gonna create a string called ordered cities, or that I'm not even sure if that's a correct way of spelling the word ordered city. Yeah, it's ordered cities. I'll initialize it to an empty string. Okay, so here's what I'll do. We'll play around with the if statement. In case you didn't know, inside the string class there's a method called, I know we haven't yet got to object-oriented programming, but I want you guys to know inside the string class there's a method called compare2. So what it does is it compares 2 words or strings character by character. So if we had something like A, B, C, D, E and A, B, C, D, F, what it'll do is it'll compare the first 2. If we had to compare these 2 strings here, A, B, C, D and A, B, C, D, F, what it'll do is it'll compare it'll compare A and A. It will find that they are equal. It will go to the next character, which is B, and B. It will find that they are equal. It will keep doing that, so on and so forth, until it gets to this one here, E and F. What it will do is it will find that this string here, E, since E is less than F, it will tell us that this string here ABCDE is less than ABCDF. So basically it does its comparison character by character. Immediately it finds two unequal characters, it will return -1 or 1 depending on which one is greater than the other. Okay, enough talking. Let's continue. Perhaps that way you guys will see what do I mean. So it's gonna be city. First city will go compared to second city. So if first city compared to second city gives me a number which is less than 0, as I just said, the compared to method returns -1, 0, and 1. Okay, so if it returns a number less than 0, which means first city is less than second city. Okay, else if this method, in case you're hearing that noise, you guys, I'm trying to cook something here. I'm starving at the moment. Okay, so else if first city compared to second city, if that is greater than 0, then we know immediately that second city is greater than first city. Okay, so let's deal with our first case first. Okay, once we know that our first city is less than second city, we'll now compare first city with the third city. So we'll simply go if first city dot compared to third city, if there is less than 1, immediately we know that okay, first city has to be the minimum, has to be our first city on our ordered list of cities. Okay, so it's gonna be ordered cities. We're gonna have to concatenate that with first city. And now it's time to compare our second city and our third city. Alright, so we'll simply go if second city dot compare to third city. If there is less than 0, we know that immediately we know that what will follow first city is gonna be ordered. Immediately we'll know that second city follows will be the second city will be the second city on our ordered city. Ordered city is variable. Okay, so we gotta go second city. I know this might not make sense because we're having second city in the second place, so it's kinda confusing, I know. Okay, of course I want a space in between. There gotta be a space in between. Then lastly, I'll have that city. Okay, however, if this is not the case though, what I've gotta say is else. So second city is not less than third city, so there's only one possibility left. In fact, two. The two might be equal, in which case it doesn't matter which one we start with. We can either start with third city and then lastly we follow that with second city, or simply go second city then third city, because they are the same. Okay, And the second case is when that city is less than our second city. In that case, in which case we will have to go or that cities, concatenate that with our that city, and then go second city. I hope everyone is following what's going on here, right? So we're basically saying, given that our first city is less than our second city, and our first city is also less than our third city, so immediately we know that first city is going to be our first city on our ordered cities variable. The next question will then be, which one is less than the other between second city and third city? And if second city happens to be less than third city, immediately we'll know that second city will be on the second position on our list of cities. Otherwise, we know that second city might be equal to third city, in which case it doesn't matter which one between second city and this third city takes the second position, because they are the same. You can pick whichever one between the two. So that's why I didn't have the a second else and else if part here. So an else will do it. Okay. We're done with that. It's I know for some people it might be kind of overwhelming, but I don't have too much of a choice. You guys are gonna have to bear with me. Okay. Given that second city is smaller than third city, what I want to do is to now compare my second city with third city. If that happens to give us -1, immediately we know that second city is on the very first position in our list of cities. Gonna be second city. Okay. Now I want to check which one is on the second list of our ordered list. Which one between our first city and third city, which one is on our second list? If this happens to give us -0, then immediately we know that first city is the next one. Ordered cities, we'll concatenate it with a space and then first city. And then lastly, third, with small letters, of course, third city. Okay. Otherwise, in fact, I don't need those. Otherwise, the very same logic applies. What we had here, the very same logic we had up there is also applying down here. So it is. We know that if first city is not less than third city, then they might probably be equal, in which case we will start with third city. But even if third city happens to be less than first city, we're gonna start with third city. Gosh, I don't even know if you guys can keep up with all of that. Okay, so it's that city space, and then lastly first city. Okay, now that we know that these two, this case here is a case where first city is called to third city, first city is called to second city. What we want to do in that case is to simply compare one of the two with the third city. So let's see which one we choose. Or let's try second city, because second city and first city, they are one and the same city, they are equal. Let's compare it with the third city and see what we get. If there happens to be, if second city happens to be less than third city, then immediately we know that third city have got to be the last city. So it's gonna be on our ordered list, on our ordered cities variable. Gosh, I can't even talk right now. I've gotta grab myself something to eat. Probably that way things are gonna be fluent from that moment onwards. Okay, so I've gotta go first city. It doesn't make any difference. I can start with second city or first city, as long as my third city is gonna be in the end of my list. So let's try second city. But make sure that these two, they follow each other, the third city and the first city and the second city. Okay. That's it. Otherwise, if this is not the case, if the above condition doesn't hold, then we know that third city has got to be the first city on our ordered list, and then the last two, which are the same, are gonna be in the end. Oof. Fair enough. Okay. I hope everyone is clear what's going on here, and in case you've got questions, please feel free to let me know, because right now we are getting towards the end of this tutorial. What we want to do is to simply copy that, paste it. Seems like I won't be having three solutions on this exercise here. Why? It's pretty straightforward. It will feel like I'm being repetitive if I do, but what we can do is to, for now, is to hit the run button and then see what we get. Okay, what we'll do is to point out the mistakes on the, so it's Chicago, Los Angeles, Chicago, Los Angeles. I don't even know how to spell that. Is it A? Oh, it's E-S, yeah. Lastly, Atlanta. Let me simply copy and paste it. So I've got a question here, you folks. Okay. Oh my God. What happened? three cities are. Do we have a problem here? Oh, I did not add a condition here. So question is, what if we've got to deal with, gosh, I don't know how come I did that mistake. Oops. One sec, I've got to deal with, I'm cooking here, you folks. One sec. Okay, folks, I've seen my mistake. You see, the thing is, I'm busy cooking here, and as I'm typing, I keep checking my pot, how it is. Okay, anyway, so here's my mistake. Number one, I should have added another condition here, because this right here, it tells us that it checks if the first city is less than the second city, and if that is the case, it checks the first city against the third city. So if the first city is less than the third city, then immediately we know that we're gonna start with the second city. However, if the third city happens to be less than our first city, here's what we'll do. We'll know immediately that our ordered cities variable will start with that city. And then of course we will have our first city. We'll have our second city because we know that first city is less than the second city. So we're gonna have our first city. Again, feel free to let me know in case I make any silly mistake, you guys. So it's gonna be second city. That should be pretty much it, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. Again, right here, we still have got to add another condition, because right here we're saying that, okay, we check if first city is, we check the two cities, first city and second city, we check which one is less. In this case, if this condition is true, it tells us that second city is less than first city. So we'll check now second city against the third city. If second city is also less than the third city, we know that our ordered list of cities will start with second city. Oh gosh, I can't even talk anymore. Okay, else immediately we'll know that ordered cities will start with that city again, because that city is less than second city. It's gonna be third city, second city, and then lastly our first city. Done. Those are the only two conditions I should have checked there. I missed checking. Okay. With that out of the way, it's time we start over. It's Chicago, Los Angeles, Chicago, Los Angeles, Atlanta, Atlanta. What the fuck is going on? I'm sorry for my language. It's just that this thing is annoying. Wait. Let's see. Let's use print here as opposed to print len. For the very last time now. Los Angeles, Atlanta. So it's gonna be Atlanta, Chicago, and lastly Los Angeles. We're getting what we expected. So I've got a question, you folks. What would have happened if we decided to use .next as opposed to .next line? And if you think you do know the answer, please let me know down in the comments. That should be it for this tutorial, you guys. See you on the next one. Cheers. I'm gone.